Hello, welcome back to Chapter 13, Section 4, Inverses of Trigonometric Functions. In this video, in these examples, we're going to solve equations using inverse functions. However, when we do this, we're going to kind of decide, we call it a restriction, decide which angle that we want. So again, go back to the idea that we get an infinite number of angles. There's an infinite number of angles where I take the cosine and I get 0.6. So it's basically whatever it would be for in quadrant 1, where the x value is 0.6, which would be not exactly, but it'd be kind of about right here, because square root of 2 over 2 is not exactly 0.6, but close. Square root of 2 divided by 2. Oh yeah, so square root of 2 over 2 is a little bit too big, it's 0.7. So it's not exactly, so it's somewhere between here and here, okay? So let's figure out where it is from 0 degrees to 180 degrees. I know it's going to be here someplace because all these x values over here are negative. But I also know if I, whatever the angle is, I can go 360 degrees around and get to it again. And I can do that forever. So this restriction says, don't do that, just go from here to here. That's all I'm going to do. Which actually is the inverse cosine anyway. So I'm going to do inverse cosine of 0.6. Grab that on my calculator. Second cosine 0.6, close my parentheses, and I get 53 degrees. By the way, I like to point out that's between 45 and 60. Okay, so this is going, and I'm just going to round off to the nearest. It says to the nearest tenth, so I'm going to do 53.1. The next digit, the 3, brings it down. Okay. Now, is 53.1 bigger than 0? Yes, it is. Is 53.1 less than 180? Yes, it is. So that one's good. That's the correct answer. But now let's compare that to this one. I'm going to do the same thing. Cosine inverse of 0.6, which my calculator is still going to give me 53.1 degrees. But this time, I want it between 270 and 360. So in other words, I found the first one right about here. The second one needs to be on this side. So how do I do that? Well, notice that the cosine goes with the x, so I'm going to get a positive x value. Positive x is over on the right, so it's not going to go from here to here. It's going to go from 0, excuse me, it's going to go from, I was talking about the x's. The angle of rotation is going to go from 270 to 360. And since my reference angle is 53 degrees, I need to find out what angle here between 270 and 360 has a reference angle of 53 degrees. So I'm going to take 360 and subtract that answer. I'll move it so you can see it. Sorry, I got a reflection there. And I get 306.9 degrees. So I take my 360 degrees and subtract 53.1, and this gives me, move that over so you can see it, 306.9 degrees. So this is simply saying, these problems are simply saying, now that you know how to find the inverse trig functions, can you figure out where it is if it's within a certain range for angles? All right, we'll see you in the next video.